Assalamu alaikum. Hello viewers, this is Muhammad Ali from Ali Shuja Classroom, and this is my first live stream on this page. And today we have a privilege of having Dr. Rizwan Mumtaz, a very good friend of mine from Germany. We are going to have a discussion on life and studies and work in Germany. And since most of our audience is from Pakistan, so I think we should mix between English and Urdu. So the objective of this interview is to highlight some of the aspects of life in Germany, and we'll learn from Dr. Rizwan about the current status of like standard of living in Germany, how is it for Pakistanis or foreigners to live in Germany, and so on. So thank you very much, Dr. Sir, for joining us. It's an honor, and please introduce yourself.
Sir, thank you so much. This is for me also first time actually in all the platforms. You have maybe worked on some other platform, but I never been online. This is my first time. So as Dr. Shuja said, my name is Rizwan Mumtaz. I am living in Germany since 15 years. So it's a bit long time. So I came here as a student in 2004. So I got admission in a master program in University of Bonn, and I was there like 2.5 years. Then after finishing my master, I moved to Denmark for a temporary position there as a research assistant in University of Aarhus. Aarhus is the second biggest city after Copenhagen in Denmark, and I spent 6 months there, and then I came back to Germany for my PhD. And then I stayed in Germany up to now from 2008 till now. So the first duration was from 2004 till like 2007, and then from 2007 now 2020. So these you can divide into two parts. So, and now I'm working after doing my PhD in Germany and several years of working in different companies. So now I'm working in a pharma company which produce amino acids for pharmaceutical applications. And yeah, I am working in quality assurance.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, Dr. Share some of the aspects of life in Germany, being a Pakistani, being a Muslim. Let's start with how life is after Corona, right? Like around these days, what has changed and how are you coping? And after that, if you could shed some light on how life is generally for Pakistanis or Muslims or foreigners in Germany.
So when Corona started, German government also reacted very fast, and so the first cases after China, actually in Europe they started in Munich. There was one small company. Some colleagues from these company have visited recently to China, and then they came back. They brought the virus there, and initially there was like 15 to 20 cases, and they were all recovered. But after a break of like 1 month, then they started to proliferate further, and the number started to increase. So when in end of March, like in the second half of March, when the government realizes, they closed everything. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. So the regular supermarkets and the pharmacies, they remain open, but the rest of all businesses, everything was closed at first. So the people started to work at home. So I also got my computer and I started to work at home for 2 months. Schools were also closed totally, so kids were also at home. So like 5 to 6 weeks, everything was totally closed. 6 weeks, I would say. And then they see the cases were declining, and they said, okay, we should start opening slowly, and they did so. Schools were open only for the children who were in the what you say, the last class for them, like the 10th class or like the 12th class, or in the primary school like in the 5th class. So these children started to go in half number. So when the 20 is total number, then the half children go one week, half other day. So things were started to going normal. If you want to visit a supermarket, you have to wear the mask. If any shop you want to enter, any restaurant you want to enter, you have to wear the mask. So people started to follow these things, and then the decrease in cases were further going down, and now situation is that we are having every day 200, 300, 500 cases. There were last week there were certain cases, but only some spots are now present in some areas. So concern is one of the places where the meat for eating are processed. These factories are the hot spots where recently some cases arise, but they have tested all the people and segregated them from the rest of the persons. So things are going fine. So this is one thing. Life has changed, so I am back to office also normal. So we are also wearing masks. So the people who could work at home, they are working from home up to now. So I mean even now, and the people who should be there, so they are coming. So they divided the offices. When in one office two persons were sitting, they separated the offices. Now only one person sit in each office. So and when we go out of the office, we wear masks to talk with each other, and we maintain the social distance. Life in general in Germany is very good. Of course, when you come first time from Pakistan, and if you have never traveled abroad, for me it was shocking, positively shocking. uh, so I saw everything. It looks very clean. So it was a really good feeling. Everything was very clean and organized. I remember my very first day, when I went with my master coordinator into the bank for my account opening, and um, I asked him that how why there are no guards standing outside. And then he started to laugh a little. He said, no, we have here a system that if somebody come to steal the money from bank, the bank employees are allowed to give them the money what he asked. Police will follow them and catch them. So there is rarely any chance, but still some big robberies always happen. So recently in there is an old castle and museum in Dresden. There was a big robbery, and millions of euros worth of jewels were stolen there. So it's like 2 3 months ago. So things happen, but at a bigger scale. So not in the normal things. So they have to be planned, like in the movies 007, something like that. Okay. So life as a Muslim is Alhamdulillah very good here. So the biggest Muslim majority here are the Turkish people. So they live here since 50 years, I would say. So they came here after the Second World War, mostly in western part of Germany, because after the Second World War, Germany is was divided into east and west part. So this need to be understand that these partitions were made on political basis, and the eastern part was controlled by the Russian regime, and the western part was divided between US, UK, and France. And western part was more developed. So liberal people were somehow governing them, or they hand over to Germans somehow. The capital for the Western Germany was Bonn, and it was developed at that time. And for that development, they need some manpower, because a lot of manpower was died during World War. And so the German government asked different countries, and so many people from Italy and from Turkey, they came, and mostly from Turkey. And the German government thought at first that they came as a guest worker, They work here for 2 3 years and then they will go back. Actually, most of them went back, but some of them stayed there. They brought their families there, and we are very full with our cultures. Actually, every nation is full of their own culture, so Turkish brought their culture with them as well. So they build mosques here, beautiful mosques, very very beautiful mosques. So they are Hanafi Muslims, so they follow the same prayer method in Jummah or other things as we mostly in Pakistan do. And so you really feel at home when you visit a Turkish mosque. And so even small cities in western part of Germany have Turkish mosque. For example, right now I'm living in a small town with a population of, like, I don't know, 6 7,000 people. It's a village, and there is a very small, very beautiful mosque here. And I asked the people there, how long you have this place. So they said, we bought this place in 2005. So before that, this building was a bank, and the bank moved to another building, and they bought this building on cash. And they said it was 200,000 euros, so 2 lakhs euros. And one they gave directly, and the second part of this payment, they said, we will give you in 6 months or sometime. And they collected the money from all over the community, inside Germany, outside Germany, and they successfully have this. So there's a very nice area, community center. So there is always a iftar there. We also meet once in a month for a common breakfast on Sunday morning. But due to Corona now, from last 3 4 months, these activities are not happening there. But overall, things are very good. What I want to add here, a very important point, is, as I said earlier, the life in West and East Germany is very different. Even though they are rejoined last 30 years now, they rejoined in 1990, and now it's 2020. So this means 30 years, but still there are differences. The children in the school, they learn as a second or third language Russian. Still is common that they learn Russian as a second language or third language after English. In western part, it's more common the children learn French or Spanish after English. So this is the small differences that started very early. And industries are present mostly in the western part of Germany, so eastern part don't have much industries. Actually, the eastern part was somehow blocked access to the rest of the world, because, as you know, previously the two world powers, America and USA, there was a Cold War for many years, and due to this, the rest of the world was totally cut from Russia and the Russian controlled regions as well. So that's why the East Germany was really cut from rest of the world. So I hear from my colleagues, because I lived many years in the eastern part of Germany. So I know how the people thought about during that time and afterward when they rejoined. So it was a very big rejoice for them, and they were very happy to join back to the western part of the Germany. So when we talk about the life and work opportunities, so because the western part was more developed and still is more developed, the difference they are trying to reduce, but it's still lacking. It takes some time, maybe, I don't know, maybe more 10 20 years. So in the western part of Germany, you have more mosques, you have more Muslims there, the life is more multicultural, there are more industries, there are more job opportunities. So I would say, if the students who want to come to Germany, they should really look carefully which part of Germany they are coming to. So but the people there, they normally think about, okay, we are going to Germany, is doesn't matter where. So for them is somehow important to leave the country, to run away. I know this feeling. So you just want to run away, and yeah, you do something, but at the end, this could affect your time in Germany. So if you start a master degree in Germany in some small city in eastern part, there will be not much job opportunities available there. So that you need to think about. But in western part, you find a lot. But the job opportunities, I would like to say one thing. The most important thing in your life in general, and anything what you want to achieve, is your desire to achieve, is your determination to achieve, is your urge to achieve. I think this is the most important thing. So what I have learned here. So how much you are willing to have this thing. And we learn these things from childhood stories, but actually we don't really interpret into our life. Thirsty crow story is a very simple story we learn from childhood. So if there is a will, there is a way. But actually this is really true. If you really want it, you will get it. It takes some time. You have to move left and right, up and down, but you will get it. So if you are really willing to do a job, even in the eastern part of Germany, you will find something. Even in a small city, you will find something. If your real goal is to achieve something big in your life, these are just smaller steps that you will climb onto it, that you will just cross them, and then you will become more closer to your goal, to your achievement. So this is the main basic introduction what I said. Do you have some specific question, please?
That was awesome. This last part, I will actually take a snippet out and I will share it on all media platforms that I have. Fantastic. Very nicely said. We have two questions from Ali Nawaz Saab, so that you can see that on your screen, right? Can
Yes.
you please answer this one, and then I will show you the next one.
How people are managing mask sales in Germany? Did the price of masks also increase like in Pakistan? Yeah. So at first, I think prices are not increased, but the masks were not available. So so much people have bought them that they were not actually available. And then the government said, relax, don't panic, just make with the normal cloth, whatever you have at home. So like in Pakistan, we have a common practice. We use old cloths for cleaning and from other stuff and kitchen. And so just take something, some old t-shirt or anything, what you think is suitable, and make your own mask at home. And a lot of people did so. My wife also did so. So I could show you what she have made for me if you like. And excuse me.
Please do. Please do.
So here is the mask what she made for me.
Mm-hmm.
So how to wear? So we wear like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the mask, and
it's much easier.
It's
much easier than there's a surgical mask. If my ears hurt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's acceptable everywhere. So they didn't put you in a difficult situation that you have to get this mask or that one. So it was difficult to get first. But then when it was available, so I saw this actually. So 10 surgical mask packet was 10 euros in market. So one mask cost €1. And then everybody somehow bought them, and now prices are decreasing. So now it looks like they are like €7 10 masks or €6 10 masks. So, and there are plenty of them, and there is no one to buy them. So most of them have made at home as we did. So they are using them. And at my work, I receive masks from my office. I have one packet. So they ordered this directly from China. And one of my colleagues yesterday was talking that he saw a video on YouTube that how the masks are made there. So he is afraid that if these are already contaminated.
Yeah. Okay. So the second question from Ali Nawaz Saab is on your screen now.
East and West Germany also have different opinions about racism. How do you immigrants cope with them? Yes, this is a very important question. Actually, it's a very practical question. Racism is there. Actually, it's everywhere in the world. But the countries who have the history of white supremacy or something like that, it's strong there. It's very common thing that when the persons who don't belong to there, when he is there, then the other persons think not positive about him. So this is the same case in Germany. Until then, when they become used to it, then they know it. When they become used to it or they know him or her, then it become easier. So I think it depends upon how many people who have presented them as a positive example to the society, and then slowly this racism and such things decrease in a country. In eastern part, as I said before, they were cut off from rest of the world for many years. I would say like from 1950, 48 exactly, from 48 till 1990. So it's like 40 years. So 40 years they did not see anything. Can you believe one of my colleagues said they did not see bananas because they were coming from Latin America, and Latin American imports were not allowed in the eastern part of Germany or something like that, or from Malaysia or from Indonesia. So same is happened with the people also, as well, and especially for Muslims. So Turkish people are mostly present in the western part of Germany, but now 30 years they are together. So some of them move to eastern part as well. But they don't have a strong infrastructure there. I mean, network of their own community, and as in the western part of Germany. So therefore, the people, the native people, the Germans in the eastern, they are not very used to for these people. Now, what happened? In 2015, this big crisis of refugees, when people came from Syria to Germany, this have changed a lot of things. German government handled this situation very good. So they allowed people. When the people came, as I told you earlier, I was also shocked. So these people who came, they were also shocked, especially those who were alone, who were without families, the younger men, the younger boys. So they started to do something wrong there. The openness of the people, the style of the people, the cloth wearing style, and other things. Every country have their own style, and so for us is also when we came new here, then for us is also difficult to say to understand how these people are wearing different clothes and how they look like in summer when it's a hot day. They just wear small shirt and small short pant, and so these refugees somehow they also reacted for such things. And an incident happened directly after. So they came in summer in August, September, October, something like that. In these months, there was a greater influx of Syrian refugees to Germany in 2015. And then the New Year night between 2015 and 16, an incident happened in Cologne. And then the government and the common people thought, okay, these are the refugees. But actually, they were not. There were some other people who were Muslims or Muslim looking. They have done these things, and then all the refugees were black sheets. So, but at the end, slowly, they also know the people from when they spend their time with them. They see their families, they see their children, and now it's already 5 years, 4.5, 5 years already. So these people are very well integrated. The children speak very good German who just started the school there. I know some families. I would also say that I know the families, and at start was like that. The children who went to school, they learned German there, and when the letters were coming from different offices at home, they were translating for their parents. So this was very interesting. So the people who are really backward, and they are still backward, they still think negative about them. Some of the people who are not at the middle class or in the upper middle class, they always think, okay, they are taking our jobs, they are taking our money, they are not doing anything, and state is paying them. So these people always make a negative impression for others as well. So there was some negative incidents. The racism has increased in Germany, especially in the eastern part of Germany, where German government have sent most of the refugees, or even they equally divided. We didn't know why, because West was so multicultural. As earlier, they were just mixed up, and we didn't know if the refugees came there. But in the eastern part, there was mostly German people, and there were only white people there from Eastern Europe or so. And when the Muslims came, the women wear scarves, and other people have beard and things like that. They were not easily mixed or mingled with the society. So they thought, oh, these are foreigners. They don't belong to us. But I think slowly things are improving. Uh, it's all over Europe actually. The right movement have increased. The political people, their rises actually. In Italy, you see, in Austria, in France, she narrowly lost the election against this Macron guy, and the woman who belonged to the right party, and everywhere actually. So in Germany is also so, the right party have gained a lot of seats. But you see, this is the positive thing to see, that the government was so mature that all the parties, they made alliance against this right party, and they said we don't let them come in the government. Even in some state elections they have gained the majority, simple majority, but the rest of the all other opposition parties who belong to the middle or the left side, they joined together and they said we will not allow this party to rule us. So this is a positive thing of the people. So these things happening in Germany, and I think yeah, racism is there, but it's a little less in the western part. It's a bit more in the eastern part. If you are with the family, you need to take care. Don't go out in the late night alone, in the especially in the eastern cities. In the west, I think it's no problem. In the eastern cities, people are recommended not to go outside. If you are young boys in a group, no problem. Just yeah, उर्दू में कहते हैं काम से काम रखो अपने. एंड सो आपको फजूल कोई हरकत करने की जरूरत नहीं है. दूसरे लोगों के साथ अपने काम से काम रखें. सो एवरीथिंग विल बी ऑलराइट विद यू.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Very, I'm learning a lot actually. At least I've made note of 6 things in my notebook. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Last time when we discussed, when we were talking on phone, you were saying that you were talking about some of the work opportunities. You were saying that there are some mainstream job websites that people know, but there are some other things that normally people do not know. So if there is someone, a student who is living in Germany already, and if he is looking for a job, what would you recommend? How to search for a job? What are the hotspots or places where we can find jobs?
I think I will divide into 2 categories. The persons who are already student, I mean who are still a student, they will remain student for like 1 or 2 years. One group, and second group who finish their studies. First and third group who want to come there. So these are 3 different groups. So the persons who are already in Germany and studying in some courses in bachelor or master courses, they need to make a network. So this is the most important thing. I think we can say this in a positive or negative way, but some people say this: the students who come in the master program or bachelor program and they don't intermingle with other Pakistanis, they have specific goal. So they make friends from Germans and other foreign students, and they are more into their network. They reach to their goal or to find job easily as compared to the students who remain more around with the other Pakistanis. So why it is so? Because they are more practical. If there are Erasmus students here in Germany, I saw them. I have never been an Erasmus student, but I saw them. They come from other European countries, and they learn the language within 6 months because they come for 1 or 2 semester. I met some guys from Spain and from Italy. They come for 1 semester for 6 months to Bonn, and they speak better German than me. I was already there for 1.5 year. So they just learn this. Of course, maybe they have learned in school as well, because we learn in school only English, but they learn some other European language as well. But still, so language is a key, uh, for sure. This will open your gates. I always give a simple example. If you are in Pakistan and you don't speak a single word of Urdu and Punjabi, because I would say Punjabi, because Punjab is nearly the half population of Pakistan, nearly. So it's the second biggest language. So if you don't speak Punjabi and Urdu, how you can survive there? It's very difficult. In cities is no problem. In cities is no problem. But if you move out of the city, or in the cities also, not everybody speak English. I would say not everybody speak English. If you go to a common shop, you want to buy something, okay, you will see the things and you will take it. But how will be your life? If you want to go to a doctor, okay, doctor will also speak English maybe. There are some many things you can't do, you can't enjoy. If you want to work a layman job, or you want to do an odd job, if you don't speak a common language, how you will do it? It's nearly impossible. So similarly, the students who came to Germany, they should, from very first day, should take German seriously. If they think in university everybody speak English, if you think wherever they go in an office everybody speak English, or if they go to the foreign office where their visa will be extended by a person who speak English, so they think, okay, we don't need German. But this is not true. They need German. They have to be. They have to learn German from very first day, and actually they should start learning at home. I would say this is a era of internet, and we Pakistanis normally, I would not say so. There are very successful people all over the world, but we don't acquire all the skills what are needed for the modern world, and we don't prepare ourselves for the future. So in YouTube, and there are several apps, other apps available in Android phone, in Apple phone, so you can learn online language. So you should start doing language learning as early as possible. This will improve your chances. And the students who already finished their studies, if they haven't learned German, I think it would be very difficult for them to enter the German market, because the working language is German. Even the biggest giants of companies like Siemens, like Bosch, like whatever, so the working language is German. So they have documents in English. They need equal skills in English as well as a second language, because when they write the job requirement, they write perfect in English and perfect in German, writing and reading. Now they added this word. I see this in last years. They always write it reading and writing in German. So mundlich und schriftlich. So you have to speak verbally as well as writing. So the both equally important, English as well as German. So I was shared an information by one student. He is doing a PhD. He's also since 4 years in Germany, and he said that he was attending a webinar by Roche. Roche is recently became the world largest pharma company. Previously, it was in the second and third number. First was Pfizer. Pfizer is an American company. Second was, I think, Novartis, and third was Roche, or Roche was second, or Novartis. So they were after each other. So Novartis and Roche, they both are Swiss companies, Swiss giant pharmaceutical giants, and he was attending a seminar on Roche for future job there, and the HR manager in said that German is our working language. So we need English as well. We do a lot of documentation in English. We do meetings also in English sometimes when there are customers from outside of Germany or outside of Switzerland. But our normal working language is German. So you need to be fluent in German as well as in English. So there are certain areas, the people who work in software companies, in IT companies, in some technical fields, they can work somehow without German. Yeah, there are many Pakistanis who are very successful here in these fields, and they work without German. But I would
So
not
where to
recommend
find
this.
jobs for let's say for IT? What are the like important platforms?
I think recently a lot of people are moving to the online job networks like Zing and LinkedIn. LinkedIn, maybe you know. So if you are using LinkedIn, you should make really a professional profile there. I mean to say, your profile should look like a professional profile. You should mention all your achievements and education and experiences, skills, everything, what possibly you have, a brief introduction about you, a brief summary about your previous work, and everything. So this is very important. Zing is a German network comparable to LinkedIn. So they have their own network, so that you can use. And then there are many job portals that you use for the regular jobs as a student, or if you are in a university, there are university cafeterias. There are always a job boards where you can look for the small jobs. For the bigger jobs, I will say, for the real as a professional job, you really need to work hard, starting from your study time. You should pinpoint yourself where you want to go, what you exactly want to work, and then you need to do some homework. We are not very good in general for our homework. In Pakistan also, the people who are very successful, they do very good homework, and the people who are not very successful, they don't do their homework, and we simply say, oh, he has a luck, he has somebody, he knows someone who have recommended him, and maybe he got a job. But we forget that he have done homework, and this homework is very important. And I would emphasize on this thing, that you should really do your homework. You should search the market. You should look for the market. I can name you some of the portals, but I will also look in the Google. So what I use as a technique, so for example, I can tell you about the pharma companies. See, so in Germany, for example, like in Pakistan, you have associations. So for example, All Pakistan Textile Mills Association. See, so all the textile mills are part of this association. Like this, in Germany, we also have associations of companies, chemical companies association, pharma companies association, and Germany is a home of world exhibitions. So there is an exhibition city in Germany that's called Exhibition City, Hanover. That is not very far away from here. And so what happened in Germany, actually, there are a lot of exhibitions annually happen. And I would say you should look for the exhibitions of your area of interest and look for the participants. And then you will find the participants from all over the world, or from which country where you want to work. For example, in Germany. So all the German participants will be also listed there, and you will see the names of those companies that you never hear, and they are also looking for people. See, and similarly for pharma companies, there are also exhibitions for pharma products, for the medicines, for the medicinal equipment, and other stuff like that. And they annually happen. This year, there are a lot of exhibitions have been cancelled due to Corona, but go to these exhibitions websites, and you will see the participants of the last year, and you can see them and see, okay, which companies are present in my area, and work for them. So, and one thing, secondly, the associations. So for example, in Germany, there are many pharma associations. For example, one pharma association only involved in generic medicine. So all the companies who make generic medicines. So generic medicines mean so not branded medicines like paracetamol, like ibuprofen. These are generic medicine, aspirin. So they just make these companies, these medicines. Sorry, and so they have their own association. So there are other companies who are research based, who have the products of research based, like Roche, I said, like Novartis, I said, like Pfizer, I said, like Boehringer Ingelheim, like Merck, like Bayer. So these are big companies. So these, when you open the page of these companies, association of these companies, you will see all their members. And okay, there are big names everybody know, Merck and Bayer and something like that, but there are also small companies there who you don't know. But your gate of success will only open in small companies if you know German. If you don't know German, the gate will not be open. So this is very, I would say, fortunate or unfortunate. It's a push for you. You should learn German. Without German, it will not be successful for you to enter in a German market. It will be really, really difficult. If you kind of find a job, maybe you find a job and you stay there. But if you want to really successful, you need to know German. And only the people I see, Pakistanis also here, who are really successful. They speak very good German, they write very good German, so they have learned it. They just spend some time. They have given their important time, what maybe you are giving just browsing Facebook or anything else. They have given this time to learn the language, to improve their skills. I think in Pakistan also a lot of people who are motivational speakers, who help students, who are career counselors. They always encourage students to please do your homework, improve your skills. People want to see you skillful. They want to hire you. But if you don't have any skills, how they will hire you? So I think this is a universal principle all over the world. The people who got hired only who has skills, who have skills. The people who are lacking skills, any kind of skills, language skills, computer skills, interpersonal skills, speaking skill, presentation skills, all kind of skills what you have, and your hardcore knowledge as well, that is also important, that you have already studied in university. I would say Pakistani students are mashallah very, very good. They are theoretically normally very strong. They are theoretically very strong because our universities are somehow based on this system. So I would say when I have studied there 15 years ago, so we focused always on theoretical subjects. So theoretically Pakistani students are very strong. They are lacking sometimes practical experience. So but nowadays everything is available on YouTube. You can look at them, you learn them, you improve your skills. And I think what I said at start, the desire, the motivation and urge, that is very, very important. If you have these qualities, you will get whatever you want, inshallah.
Awesome, awesome. And I have one last question mentioned here, but I think you have already answered it somehow. So I'm going to merge two questions together, and I'm going to ask you this one last question. If I'm an 18-year-old student and I want to, somehow I saw Germany in a movie or documentary and I'm inspired by Germany and I want to live my entire life in Germany and I'm a Pakistani, what should I do now? And the second question that I'm merging with this one is that, is asylum the right way? Because I'm asking this specifically, this question, because I've seen many people on different platforms on Facebook where they thought that when they go in Germany, when they just have to land in Germany, and people will be waiting for them with open arms, with fruits and flowers to give them job, and everything will be fine. Is it like that? And so these two things are merged. If I'm an 18-year-old,
I think
if asylum is the right, please.
I come first to the asylum question and then to the 18 years old question. Asylum is a situation when somebody said to go to a country and say, I don't have anything, and everybody want to kill me, So please save my life. And so they don't simply believe you, because hundreds and thousands and millions of people are coming every year to say the same story. So how they believe your story? So it's not very simple. So maybe you will get a place to stay overnight, and maybe you get something to eat, but job and anything else, just forget about it. So you are not allowed to do any job. Your life, after living asylum seeker life for some months or some weeks, I am sure you would say, oh, I would have been better in Pakistan to stay there, why I came here. So this is a very, very bad life. So people struggle several years, I would say 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, and they are just at the same starting point where they have started their life in Germany. So they move from one country to another country. Sometimes they come from Greece to another country, and then they go to Italy, then they go to Spain. Somebody say, ah, in Spain there is a better life. They go there, and then they come back. Ah, no, there is not enough money. So their life is really, I don't want to say this word, shit. So this is a real their life. So please don't think about this. Prepare yourself, study yourself, learn the language, learn the skills. So the students who are young students who are just finishing their FSC in or FA in Pakistan, I would say they should focus on their bachelor and masters. They, or if they want to do, they should do bachelor minimum in Pakistan. Without doing bachelor, coming to Germany is not recommended. Only for those people who are really want to do medicine studies. So doing medicine study in Germany is not very easy. It's a very long process, very long process. After FSC you can come, but you have to spend 1 year in Germany in a student colleague. That is a college diploma for 1 year, and then you will be eligible to give the exam for university of medicine, for medicine studies, the entrance exam. Only those students, and you have to spend all your money or yourself for 1.5 year. To first you have to learn the language professionally, minimum C1 level, and then you have to prepare for this exam of mathematics, German, biology, chemistry, some basic stuff, and then you have to take this exam in the university, and then you will be get admitted in the medicine. um, but the students who come after bachelor, they have a very good chance to get admission in a master course. So nowadays in Pakistan, the bachelor is a normal 4 years bachelor, 3.5 or 4 year bachelor. So this is acceptable in Germany. So you can directly come to the master, and after master study, there are a lot of doors will be open for you if you use this time during master to improve your skills, to improve your language, to improve German, to improve English, to improve, to have good grades. So you will be welcome everywhere. Actually, Germany is one of the country in Europe that have strongest economy. So it's one of the strongest economy, and it's one of the country where you can afford easily stuff as compared to the other countries. So I am talking about Western Europe. So not the Eastern Europe. Of course, Eastern Europe countries are more cheaper. The living standard is easier there as compared to the money expenditures, but the life quality is also not as in Western Europe. In Western Europe, Germany is one of the best country. The problem is only language. So everybody speak here German. Nobody, nearly no one speak English. There are bigger cities are exception. If you go in Frankfurt, Frankfurt is the financial hub of Germany. So if you go to a bank in Frankfurt, of course they will speak English with you. So if you go to a bigger office in a normal government office in Frankfurt, they will speak English with you. But if you if you want to spend your whole life in Frankfurt, and yeah, I don't know, it's your choice. But these people speak bad about you at your backside. So I met with some Germans, and they say to me, "Oh, you speak very good German." I said, "Okay, it's not very good, but I can communicate." They say, "Yes, but we know people who are even have a longer stay than you, but they don't speak at all." So I met one woman in Frankfurt, and she's living 18 years in Germany, but she don't speak any German, or very very little. So she say she don't need to speak German. She can work everything in English. It's your choice. I think if you really want to integrate into the society, and if you want to work in a good position, you need to learn German. For the students, I come back. So please work hard in your BSc, get a good GPA. And so just an example, so this year student visas, I don't know German embassy processing or not, but they posted on their Facebook post that they are accepting the application for only those students who have the CGPA more than 3.8. So this means the embassy make an exception for those students who are good. So everybody want to have a good students. So if you have a GPA more than 3.8, this means you can register yourself on the embassy website. If you already have the admission letter from any of the university, then they will specially process your visa application. But for all other students who have less than 3.8 GPA this year, the German embassy will not entertain them. So you see the importance of GPA, your studies is very very important. So study hard, get a good grade, and then with a good grade focus on your skills as well, or your interpersonal skills, your language skills, your computer skills. So this will be helpful to get admission. Writing skills are very very important. Our writing skills are normally not very good, so because we learn whole life the things in a rata system, so we don't really and system also don't help us in such a way that we can interpret ourselves in our own language. So I still remember the time of metric and FSC, when you have an English book and you need to memorize the summaries, and if you print out these summaries what you have memorized directly on the paper, then you get the full mark or the maximum marks. But if you somehow interpret it yourself, you read the book and you use your own German language, English skills to write down the summary by yourself, I think this is not very welcome there. But this is welcome. This is welcome in the rest of the world. So please write yourself, analyze the things, read the things, and then write by yourself. Writing skills are very very important all over your life. So not the handwriting is important anymore, because people write mostly on the internet, on computer, but skills are important. How to write, which words to use, so how to summarize the thing. So this is a very very big skill, that if you have one paragraph and you can write it into 2 or 3 lines, or if you have one full A4 page and you can say the same message in 1/4 of the page, the same message what is written in the one A4. Actually this was the aim, to learn the summaries and to make but actually we are not fulfilling this aim, because we say the students who write the longer summaries, they get the more marks. Actually summary should be short and concise and precise. But
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. I'm especially glad, because you might have seen my post. I'm very allergic to people who are saying that leave your universities and learn some skills and something like that, and universities are crap and something like this. And I'm really happy that you highlighted this point, that it's very important not only to complete your bachelor's but also get good grades in that. And I've mentioned it
Yes.
in the text that is scrolling at the bottom of this video. So thank you very much. If you have anything else to add by yourself, because There are only 2 or 3 people watching right now, but this will be on my page and people will see it later on. I'll also take some small parts from this video and make a highlight. So for students especially who are thinking about staying in Pakistan or moving abroad, especially in Germany, if you have any message for them, please go ahead.
I think working hard is a success, key of success in life. Uh, Hard work is a very important in everywhere in your life. So if you don't have a habit to work hard, establish this habit. So make it strong. Make this habit. Make this your habit. So without this habit, you will not be successful in your life. So this is one of the most important thing. So yeah, we are as a nation somehow. When we say as a nation, I don't mean everyone. I mean the most of them. We are looking for the ways. We are looking for the shortcuts. We are looking how not to do hard work but still achieve this thing. I think this is not realistic approach in your life. So please don't use this approach. Learn to work hard. This is very important. Try to focus. This is very important. So focus what you really want to do in your life. This is the most important thing. The very most important thing. Even if you want that, I previously three keywords that I said: your motivation, your desire, your urge. If you are not focused, what you desire for, what you are urging for, what you are motivated for. So you can be only motivated, you can be only urged for some goal, some focus of your life. So you need to focus about what you really want to do in your life. This is a very important thing. We are people who don't think too much. I think this is an important point. We speak too much, we listen also, but we don't think too much. So if we think, we can focus. And thinking is a first step that will bring you to a focus of your life, of everything around you, how you see the things. This is very important. And then work hard and for your goals.
Very good message. And I think this thing about thinking is, I think we believe we have, I believe we have given this responsibility of thinking to our parents and our teachers and our friends, that we always forward to have advices from our friends. Scope kya hai? If I want to take science, scope kya hai? I'm not willing to think myself. Germany जाऊंगा तो क्या scope है? So something like this. We don't use our brain.
This is a very famous keyword that everybody want to ask about this. I don't know from where they learn this word. I want to delete this word in Pakistani dictionaries. Scope. I want to delete this word. So scope, and a lot of people say everything have a scope. Actually, I believe in this thing. Everything have a scope, but in a certain extent. See, so as a nation, because we don't organize the things as a policy for the education, for everything, so we don't know how many people we need for how much, for which subjects, and for how many skillful people we need in a particular area. So we are just, when somebody say, okay, there is a scope of MBA, everybody want to do MBA. Somebody say there is a scope of ACCA, everybody want to do ACCA. Somebody say there is a scope of, I don't know what, IT, BCS, everybody want to do BCS. And so, I mean, and I don't know. So the scope is, I don't know how to say this thing, but it's a relative terminology. It's relative. It is relative to the person, how he think, how he take the things, how much hard work he do in his life, for the achievement of the goal what he want to achieve. So these all things really matter, not only the scope. So medicine have a scope, but there are people who failed the medicine, who could not complete their medicine. Engineering have scope, but not every engineer is successful. Why? We have to think about these points, and we can discuss in future about these points, why people are not successful in their fields, or why somebody is very much successful and some other are not successful. So I think this is only the hard work. Hard work is the key to success.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We have been talking for exactly 1 hour now. Thank you so much for giving your precious time. And I learned a lot, and I hope that our audience also learned a lot. And in future also, I'll request you some other time on some other topic to share your insights. It was very valuable for me and also for our audience as well. Thank you,
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much for your invitation, and I am also very happy to share my knowledge and experience what I have learned here. And I in future I am also available.